Often they're overused words, but I think in my circumstance that it was nothing short of a miracle.
She gave it her all and she pulled through for us. I was never giving up for a second. There was no way I was stopping. We were getting her back there on the beach.
The day of the drowning itself was a little bit like flashes of images. It wasn't a consistent time. So I recall going down to the beach, walking into the water, diving under the waves.
I was swimming about 20 metres out from the beach and I saw a young lady, I thought she was looking at fish actually. She was floating face down in the water and she had goggles on. So I thought, well, she's looking at fish. Cupped my hands and I screamed, "Are you okay?" And I had no response, and it's then I knew that something was very wrong.
There was a man running up the beach from the northern end, and this wasn't an exercise run. This guy was running full pelt, so in my profession that's generally an indication that something is up. He came up huffing and puffing and pointing down the beach to where he'd come from, blue lady, and I, at that time, had no idea what he was talking about.
At that point I saw a lifeguard running down to the water's edge with bags in his hand, and I knew at that point that something serious was happening. So I went running over and went rushing through the crowd, and I said, "I'm a doctor, can I help?"
There was a lady, literally blue, laying flat out with a bit of foam coming out her mouth and just completely grey in complexion across her body with a blue face and blue lips. And at that point I just realised we've got ourselves a serious issue here.
He was doing the chest compressions and I was doing the airway and the ventilation.
And we just had at it. There was no stopping us. We were set on a mission and there was no way we weren't getting her back there on that beach.
Even though I'd never met Luke, and even though it was a period of only a few minutes, we were working together, and we probably weren't thinking it at the time, but we were.
By the time we had the defibrillator on and attached was probably maybe 7 to 10 minutes into the resus. We had everyone step back, but due to the fact that she had no shockable rhythm, which means she was flatlining, it didn't shock the first time or the second time.
Luke just kept going. And he went going with a ferocity that busted a number of Cassandra's ribs, but really probably played to saving her life more than any other individual thing.
A lot of effort to get that chest nice and compressed, to get that heart pressed in and pumping that blood back around the system after it stopped. So there was a lot of physical effort put in to those compressions, which Cassandra might tell you left her a bit sore, but I think it was all worth it in the end.
At first, very weak, it was just a little tap. And I think I sung out and said, "I've got something, I've got something."
I could hear him shouting as well, you know, "Come on." It was like almost encouragement, I think, either to us or Cassandra, maybe everybody, you know, just come on, don't give up.
Then there was another beat and another beat, and they were consecutively or consistently stronger as they occurred. So it was bang, 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 bang.
All of a sudden, like out of a movie, she just shuddered into life. It was one compression and then bang, it was like just something had zapped her back to life.
We got the pulse back, we got some breathing, and then she started to move, and then her eyes were open, and she was moving around, and when the ambulance got there, she was sat up and obviously very confused and didn't know what was going on.
My next memory was coming to on the beach and having bright lights and a very, very close proximity of faces in mine, all of whom were strangers.
It was like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. It was just the most profound feeling to have that woman who had been laying there 15 minutes ago with the foam coming out her mouth, completely blue, to actually have some colour back in her cheeks and be breathing on her own. It was just an amazing feeling.
It was a very emotional moment to feel that, and I feel very privileged that I was there.
The first time I met Luke was in hospital, and we were both overcome with emotion, and then I met him again in a cafe, and we sat down and just looked into each other's eyes and held hands and cried. And with Neil, it was identical.
Hello, girl.
Hello, gorgeous.
It's us again. Do you remember us?
Fat as.
My goodness.
Hello. Mwah. Mwah.
It just created like an instant bond, just a bond from that moment. The new life started, and that's a lifelong friend.
Well, thanks.
You're most welcome. It's been a great pleasure knowing you. I consider Cassandra one of my closest friends. I trust her implicitly. And I think that the bond that has grown with us will only ever get stronger.
The impact has been extraordinary in that I didn't leave my son an orphan. I didn't leave my parents to deal with the death of the child before them, and as a parent, I can't think of anything worse.
It's actually really lucky.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's very, very lucky.
It's amazing how much it calms the baby down.
Since I was brought back to life, I've been given another gift of life. I've got a baby as well, and so I don't think it really gets much luckier than that.
It was really amazing that everyone was there at the same time, in the right time and in the right place, and with the right skills to be able to do what was needed to be done to bring you back.
Well, it's good to be back. Can I have a 3?
I have a debt to those people, and they can call on me, and I will always honour whatever they want for the rest of my life. What greater gift could you give someone than their life? And I'm extraordinarily fortunate to have had the benefit of all of those people's experience and courage and love to be sitting here now.